This episode of Blue Canoe is sponsored by Montana's at Dubrek. Go on, get one down you.
One big shot for Jack Whelan as he fluked it. Oh my days! What an ending to that match!
Believable.
Not only winning that, winning the doubles as well. Fantastic achievement. May never be done again.
Absolutely incredible. What a way to end an incredible match. Just out of this world. Jack Whelan cannot believe what has just happened. Jake McCartney cannot believe what has just happened. But Jack Whelan has won this group. He has come through by the finest of margins.
So, my name's Aaron Lodge, most people know me as Bodge, and today I'm with Jack the Wonder Whelan, world champion pool player. We're going to sit down, we're going to have a chat, but first you're going to show me a couple of trick shots, give me a little bit of a tutorial, and hopefully I'll win some money off it.
So, what I've said here, there's a big gamble, but if he gets this in the first 3 attempts, he can have this £50 note. Right, so it's a trick shot that I've done that's gone viral. So, I put the £50 note here, cue ball next to it. I've got to come off 9 cushions, land back on the £50 note again. There's one.
There's one. Right, come on now.
There's 2. So I think I might be safe here, hopefully.
I think that's...
No, it's not touch. It's touch. No, didn't get it.
It's on its way. It's on its way. Ah, he's fucking done it as well. There we are.
So at least I get to keep my money this time anyway.
Yeah, this time. This time.
So this is called a skill shot. So what I'm going to do here, in English pool you're actually allowed to pot the red and the 8 ball together in the same shot, as long as you're on the 8 ball. So I'm going to put the white in behind it, so it's only a trick shot. I'm going to put the white behind it, I'm going to hit the 8 ball, I'm going to pop the red in the bottom pocket, I'm going to double kiss the 8 ball forward just slightly, so it'll go around the region of the pocket anyway. The cue ball is going to come off the bottom cushion, the side cushion, and come back down and make the 8 ball in the bottom pocket.
Jack, 2015 was the year that you won the World Championship of Pool. Just talk to us about the build-up to that tournament, talk us through that tournament and where you were at, because we're going into 2023 now. It was a little while ago. Today's the first day that you've become a full-time professional pool player.
It's crazy really when you think back, it's 8 years ago nearly. It's crazy, but yeah, like I went into it with zero expectations. Like I said before, I had a knee injury.
Yeah.
So it was a crazy one. On the 21st of December, I turned over in bed and a spring popped in the mattress and it went through my knee.
Wow.
And it literally took a big gouge out of my knee basically. I had to have 25 stitches. So I had to have like 19 stitches outside and 6 on the inside. And it was obviously pouring with blood and it was horrible. But
you're saying when you stood up?
Yeah, it was squirting outwards, yeah. It was like something off a film, a horror film. And that was December, so I obviously had Christmas and New Year in bed. And I won the Worlds in the middle of February.
Yeah.
So it was only probably 6-7 weeks after.
Did you still have your stitches in or anything?
No, I had my stitches out, but it was still scabbed.
Yeah.
There was still like a scab there.
Yeah.
But every time, obviously, I was bending over, it was cracking.
Yeah.
So it was so hard.
Luckily, you don't have to get the rest out.
Yeah, it was so hard to heal.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, obviously, I got over it in the end. But the World Championships, it was in Sheffield, so it was right over the road from the medal wall. there's like a science museum. As you're driving down the M1, the Meadowall's on the left, and there's a big science museum called the Magna Centre on your right. It's a big, massive black building, and it was in there that I won the World Championships. And to be fair, going through the whole week, I felt really good. It was a sets format, so it was first to 5, best of 5. Basically, first to 5 frames to win 1 set. First to 3 sets wins. No, it was first to 2 sets wins.
First to 2, wasn't it?
First to 2 sets wins. So it was quite a cutthroat. First to 5 is nothing at the level that we play at, because obviously could 2 dry breaks and you could lose a set 5-0. When I break well, I'm known for having one of the biggest breaks in the game, and when I break well, it sort of fills me with confidence a bit more, and it's sort of like I gain a lot of momentum from it. So there was sets that I was winning with no stress at all, and I was just winning 5-1 and 5-0 just because I was outbreaking everybody. And I got to the quarterfinal, the morning of the quarterfinals, and it was the semi-finals, and the quarterfinals was in the morning, semi-finals afternoon, the night was the final. And I said to my wife, that wasn't my wife then, but is my wife now, I said, she goes, how are you feeling? I said, I'm going to win. I said, I knew I had the feeling that I was just outbreaking everybody. And it was a bit like the Pro Cup through Christmas there. I had that break that I was just like, I was timing the ball so well that there was no power there. It was just blowing the pack up. And it was so easy for me to go around stuff. And I was under no stress because I wasn't having to play any hard shots because the balls were so easy all the time. And obviously then you gain momentum. Your opponent starts making mistakes. You gain momentum again. You're breaking and clearing up. They have to break and clear up. They don't. You win another frame. And it's just a snowball effect of it all. Yeah. But I says to her, I'm going to win. I says, I'm going to win. We woke up in the morning. I says, I'm going to win. And I actually won the doubles at the same year as well. So I won the World Championship doubles the same.
I watched your post interview. It looks so emotional as well, man. Like,
it's one of them things that every player wants to become world champion at whatever they do, whether it's whatever sport they pursue as a hobby or a dream or whatever they want to do. You want to be the best. Yeah. And obviously, like, it was a massive achievement for me to win the World Championships.
Yeah. To solidify that and have that on your CV and know that them years of work have obviously led to that point must have been really, really good for you.
Yeah, it's one of them where, look, you're the world champion, and whatever, if I put my cue down now and never hit another ball, I've been a world champion. So, and when I was talking to you about it the other day, how many people in Derby have been a world champion at their sport?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's many.
There's not many, mate.
So I don't know how many there is. I know probably Sandy's probably going to be the next one to be the women's boxing world champion. But apart from that, I don't actually know if anyone else has become a world champion at their sport. So obviously I take great pride in that. But also for me, I don't think you get the recognition that I deserve, because for me, like with pool, it's such a common game. Yeah. It's in virtually every pub. Everybody plays it.
Yeah.
So how is it not talked about more than a mainstream sort of sport?
Is it maybe because of the origins that you talk about? Maybe because it's known as being a bit of a working class sport?
Yeah.
Maybe that's something, a pub game.
Yeah.
Do you see that changing going forward?
Yes, I do, yeah.
You're part of the ultimate pool scene now, which... Tell me a little bit about that, because I think it was set up in 2017, am I right?
No, it was set up in 2002, I think it might have been 21.
Okay,
20. It's 2 years now.
Okay.
That Pro Cup through Christmas is the first event of the third season.
Okay, yeah.
The first year they took on 32 pros, which extended to 34 pros, because they took on Christophe Lambert, who is French, one of the best players probably the best player to come ever out of France. And the other one was Gareth Potts. He's been four-time world champion. He moved to Chinese 8-ball.
Yeah.
So he only played 8 Chinese pool for, I don't know, 7-8 years maybe. Never touched an English ball.
There's how many variations? 2 or 3? English, American and...
Yes, and Chinese.
Yeah. And I can imagine there's only slight differences with them, but...
Chinese is probably the hardest cue sport.
Yeah.
Because it's a 9-foot snooker table. So you know, like an American pool table, I know everyone says, the massive bags and you can't miss, but
balls are like this.
But you can miss, trust me, the level we play at, you can't afford to miss.
Yeah. But so when you do.
But if you play, like anyone that says you can't miss on them, right, show me then.
Yeah.
Show me you clearing up.
Yeah.
And they can't.
They can't actually.
But for me, the Chinese pool is tighter pockets, but the same size balls. So the bags, I think they
margin
might be
of error.
4 1/4 inch, and the balls are maybe 3 1/3. I don't know the exact. But it's very, very tight. And going down the cushions are virtually impossible to pot, even someone of my level.
Really?
It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I've been to China, I think I've been 6 times to play in the Chinese championships. And it's so hard.
Is it?
So hard.
Culturally, like, how different is it over there compared to England? Do you notice a massive difference?
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive difference. A big thing is the food.
Yeah.
When you think, oh, it's Chinese, like, oh, great. It's not Chinese.
Chow mein.
It's not Chinese. That's massively westernized.
Yeah.
You don't get no chow mein, you don't get no sweet and sour, you don't get no salt and pepper chips. I mean, you don't get that. You do get noodles, and it's literally just noodles all the time with meat. That's it, and water, and like in a soup, like in
Like
a bowl.
a ramen kind of.
It's just like
with the spoon
a broth and noodles and chopsticks.
Yeah.
And you've got to get used to it. And that's what you have for breakfast. You have it for lunch. You have it for dinner.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can go to like high-end hotels and restaurants that you can get food that is like here.
Yeah.
And we did go to them sort of places. It was actually quite a good one, because first time I ever went to the Joy Masters. Joy's a massive manufacturer. Like, this is called Supreme Pool. They make these tables.
Yeah.
So in China, there's 2 makes.
Yeah.
There's Joy Billiards and there's Star. Star Billiards make the snooker tables. So when you see a snooker table with the gold legs, that's Star tables. They're owned by the government in China.
Really?
So they're a massive contender to Joy, who are owned by a man.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of pounds, the company. I don't even know how, I wouldn't even like to put a valuation on the company, but it's serious amounts of money.
See, if you look at snooker, for example, and you looked at the top 16 and how many Chinese are now in the top 16, and there was the big betting scandal that's happened not too long ago as well. Like, you come to realise, and you look at the population of it being 1 billion people, it's very easy to understand how somebody could be worth that kind of money through.
Well, they play it. They actually play. They have it in the curriculum at school.
Do they?
So they play. We have PE, and we go out and play rugby for an hour. They go and play snooker.
Really?
So it's no surprise that you're getting like these 13-year-old, 14-year-old kids that don't miss a ball.
That's ridiculous.
It's no surprise to me. And I think, going forward, you're going to get a lot more Chinese guys coming through. And for me, like, from England, we've got a couple of players that are really good. Mm-hmm. But, once the legends of the game sort of pack up, like your Ronnie, Mark Selby, Robertson, Williams, Higgins, you're going to have the Chinese guys and Trump. Yeah. That's what you're going to have. Yeah. And Jack Lazowski, he's one of the young ones from England.
That's coming through.
He's top 16 and he's unbelievable talent. But for me, I just think that they're that dedicated to the game that they're going to overtake the English mentality of, I'll have a game tomorrow. Yeah. Do you want to go for something to eat? Yes, I do. And off you go. Where was that? Yeah. No, I don't. I'll see you in 5 hours. Like, I'm going to go and play. That's the way they work.
Yeah, and the mentality thing even comes down to, like, when the Olympics was there, and you see how all of that was set up, and like saying through the curriculum. And
Joy Billiards actually, they sponsor Gareth Potts. Yeah. So that he's in a deal with them. And Stephen Hendry, they've got him as an ambassador. Mm-hmm. And the first time I ever went to, that's what I was going to say then, the first time I ever went to China, I met Gareth at the airport for the first time, and obviously he's one of the legends of the game. I'm actually really good friends with him now, but at the start I didn't know him, so I was like, oh, there's guys. Like, I didn't realise. And he's like, right, when we get to Dubai, ring me. I'll let you in the lounge, because obviously he was business class and I was downstairs. So it was a massive experience for me. Yeah. And I was going to the tournament, but I had no expectation. I knew where I was at, and I've never sort of like been in a position where I say I'm the best. I always just think, look, if I play well, I can win. But I knew at that game, if I played well, I still couldn't win. For me, it was an experience, and it is a chance to get yourself out there.
And that brings you back to when you were 13 and going to Riley's and knowing you were going to get beat.
I'd probably say it was worse going to China, because I'm 30 hours away from home. Yeah. And I knew I was going to get beat. Yeah. And I'm thinking, like, look, I'm going to probably lose here, and I've just got to sit in my hotel room. And then, do you know what I mean? It was a weird one, but the first ever night, obviously, Gaz, and obviously I'm really good friends with him now, but at the time, he didn't have to help me. Mm-hmm. But like, he was like ringing my room, and he'd say like, right, we're going to go for dinner now. Do you want to come down? Yeah, sounds good. And we stayed in the Shangri-La. So like, the one's in the Shard in London. So it's a 5-star international hotel. It's real nice, like marble everywhere. So we stayed in there. We get put up there by Joy Billiards. Yeah. They pay for you to go, pay for you to stay there. So they've gone in the restaurant, sits down, Stephen Hendry. And I'm thinking, oh God, don't say nothing stupid.
Don't say anything.
I've got Gaz like there, and Stephen Hendry's there, and we're having dinner. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. Like he's like not just one of my idols, but he's like a household name. Stephen Hendry's one of the biggest,
one of the greatest, one of the greats. Yeah.
And there won't be many like him. Probably after Ronnie.
How many world championships?
Seven.
Seven.
I think seven. Yeah. It was unbelievable, and he was just talking to me like this. We're talking now. And unbelievable, like he was just saying,
flapping a duck on water a little bit.
To be honest, I sort of took to it because I am all right at speaking to people. I wouldn't get flustered so much in a situation, but for me, it was still like, wow, that's him.
Yeah.
And
you've gone on to
he's a normal person.
Yeah.
He's just thinking.
That must have been quite refreshing as well.
Yeah, honestly, is that genuine? And it's same with Gaz. Like a lot of people say, like he might be arrogant, but you know when you know him as a person, he's really not like my little lad. Every time he sees Paul on the TV, it's either Daddy or Gaz. That's all he shouts. There's Gaz. There's Gaz. Like, and he's been here and practiced with me. He knows my wife. We go out for food with his partner. Obviously, he's a great ambassador for the sport. And for him to like do that for me the first time, and he could clearly see I was old enough. I was probably like 2016, maybe 7 years ago. So I was like mid-20s.
Not like you were 16.
No. But he could clearly see that I didn't really know what I was doing. I just had to turn up and sort of wing it a little bit. From that, we've sort of been friends ever since. And he won 3 Chinese World Championships along with the 4 English World Championships.
Yeah, he's proper.
Yeah, he is like as close to a household name as a pool player can get.
Yeah. And like you're saying, we talk about the snooker household names. He's one of the pool household names. Ironically, his second name's Potts.
Which ties in perfect. And his brother-in-law is Mark Selby. Which he's one of the all-time greats as well.
And doesn't he play pool as well? Is he on the Ultimate Pool scene? I heard
he's just signed up. He just signed up. He actually got announced on Monday. So he won the doubles. It was in the Ultimate Pool pairs with Gaz. They played together. They won the doubles, which obviously was a good real thing.
I bet that's a nice family meal, isn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, like with the way that social media is going at the minute, Gaz has obviously got a massive following, and it's getting to the point like they've gone out for some meals, and it's like Gaz has been asked for a picture. I'd have thought over a Mark thinking this is brilliant. I could imagine, but I think like the worst thing that's going to happen to Mark is when he's coming to these pool events and you've got 500 people there. They're going to bombard him with kind of a picture. And look, he's a true professional, and he'll do it. Like I've got no doubt. I've met Mark before, and we've played golf, and so I know what sort of a person he is, and I know obviously he's clearly very grounded, and he's come from like council bring up, and so he's a graft. He has to graft for it. He's far from natural. Right, so to be honest, it landed a little bit. That last ball then rolling in knocked it a little bit nasty, but I can
because of the black.
Yeah, just because of the 8 ball really. But what I can do the first shot is I can play the red and I can flick the yellow out of the way. So I'm just going to put the yellow here and put the white ball here. So the black will then be free into that bottom pocket. So it's just a case of just glancing the yellow out of the way. So that's about perfect, and it's opened the game up completely really. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and land on this ball in middle next. Then I'm going to find that small gap there, play the red into the bottom, leave myself an angle on the one in the middle to drop across, and then take the 8 ball in this pocket. So all I've got to do here is try and land as straight as I can on this one in middle, so then I've got control to find that gap. So it's not quite straight, but I'm okay.
You've got enough angle there.
Yeah, I can just still land in the gap. So my bad point is here. So anything to the left of that, I'm okay. So if I try and drop it in literally dead weight.
Are you going to have to come past this red to the furthest red?
Yeah, I'm going to try and come down to the furthest red. I've actually slightly ran too far, so I'm going to try and spin the cue ball round the first red. See how the dots on the white then just sort of spinning round. So here I'm not going to try and do anything too fancy. I'm just going to drop the red in and land up here for the 8 ball. So I'm sorry, mate, but that's about as good as it gets, really.
Yeah. And there it is.
So you've been playing in front of cameras now for quite a while. What year was it that you turned pro?
I'd probably say around 2013, 12 time. 10 years maybe.
Yeah.
I won a big tournament when I was 17, so that's many moons ago now. 16 years ago. And yeah, that was a big event and probably the biggest one I won to date. Then I went on and it's tough because when you win one event, people think, right, that's it, he's one of the best, and it's so hard to win because the standard is so hard.
They say it's hard work getting to the top, and then when you get to the
100%.
top, maintaining that. Do you feel like that?
I did. I don't now. I just feel like I'm part of the fixtures and fittings sort of thing. I know that if I play well, I can compete with anybody. It doesn't matter who it is, how good they are. I know if I play my own game, I can challenge them. And if they don't play well, then I can win. I think you've got to feel like that. But there's a difference between feeling like that and then knowing that you can do that.
Putting it into practice, kind of thing.
For me, like, it's quite satisfying in a way, because I know that people might play me and think, oh no, if I miss this, I've lost. And it's a good feeling to have that. You know that you're striking fear into someone and you've not done nothing.
Cat on a string kind of
That's
thing.
it. In the end of the day, you're potting balls. Look, you break the balls and you pot 7 and that's it. It's as simple as that.
Jack, I want to take you right back to where you grew up, and you're an Elveston boy, born and bred.
Yep.
Your mum and dad own the Cornishman.
Yep.
Not a bad little setting to start learning how to play pool. How much do you think you got a head start over certain people because your living room had a pool table, for example?
Well, to start with, I had a table before we moved in the Cornishman.
Did you?
So when I was probably, I'd say 10 or 11 maybe, my parents had a double garage, and for one Christmas, I can't remember which Christmas it was, I had a table put in my garage. It wasn't a proper table like this.
No.
It was like an Argos one. You could fold it up and down and take it wherever you want. But look, at the end of the day, I was still learning. I used to go and play snooker at the Rolls Royce Pavilion near Moorways. So they had two snooker tables in there, and it used to be like 20p for 12 minutes or something like that. And I used to play and play. And then it was a weird one because there's a guy from Derby called John Attridge, and a lot of people that watch this will know of John. He's a ref now, like a national ref. It was just like a bold bloke to me. And so like, I'm saying, do you want to have a look at Jack? And I'm thinking, what's he on about? But so I went down to the local Rileys on a Tuesday night, and they used to have like I think it was £2 a man tournaments, and it used to be quite busy. And used to get all the good players in Derby, like John Giles, and they were all the best players, what I thought were the best players then. And look, I used to go every week and I'd get beat and cry, and go through that process of learning, and I didn't realise that I wasn't meant to win at the time. I'm thinking, have I lost again? Go back home, and have I lost again, and go back home. And then all of a sudden I started to like turn the corner of that and start to do okay in them.
Were you playing people that were quite a lot older than you?
Yeah, massively. So I was probably at this point 12, 13 sort of age. So I just moved into the Cornishman around that sort of age. Luckily for me, I got into the England team, which back then it wasn't a massive selection of players. So probably looking back now, it might have been more difficult to do it now than it was back then. But look, I got an opportunity. When we played as kids, there is still players there now that play to a good standard. There's I'd probably say there was 5 players that played 15 years ago that are still now right at the top.
Because I suppose, because physically it's not as demanding game, like you say, mentally it really does. You have to dig deep.
Going back to like playing in Riley's as a kid, I was like, I'd go every Tuesday night or Wednesday night and we'd play. and you just get beat all the time. And I feel that English Paul in Derby has probably stopped in time the last 10 years, I'd say, 15 years of where was it then when I was turning up every week and was other players turning up every week that could never win.
Yeah.
And there was always the 2 or 3 guys that would just say like, there's my money, thank you, thank you, thank you. Whereas now, if you're good, you get punished for it. And that's what I don't get about the scene. And it's not just in Derby, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
you can only talk about what you've seen with your own eyes.
yeah, 100%. But to me, it feels like you're getting hard done by because you're better than everybody else. But why?
Yeah.
Because I practiced so much. Because I wanted to become better. Because I played against people that were clearly better than me.
Yeah.
I lost my money. To get better, you need to test yourself. And I think that I get that. Look, people don't want to throw money away. I get that. But how are you meant to better yourself if you don't try? You've got a 32-man comp, but you're only allowed to play if you're that category. If you're that good,
Do you reckon
you're not allowed to play.
That's like a thing with the setup rather than the mentality of the players that are playing it? Or-
I don't think so, no. I think it is, obviously it's been set up because of people's mentality.
Yeah.
I think people think, well, I ain't playing if Jack's playing. I ain't playing if Craig Lakin's playing.
Yeah.
Forget that, they'll just win. How are you meant to get any better?
Yeah, that's true. I suppose the debate comes from, is it a lot of it natural talent or is
Yeah.
it hard work?
I'm not naturally talented.
No.
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 I work hard
Yeah.
and I play a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anyone that knows will know that I've played a lot.
Yeah.
And whatever I win is because I've won it. Obviously, I've been lucky that my family has been able to afford to put me in a situation where I get that everyone's upbringing is different. You know, I'm not saying I'm far from hard done by.
Yeah.
My family was always in a position where they would pay for everything. They would send me anywhere I wanted to go. I could play in any event I wanted to go and play in.
Well, they still ran pubs at the end of the
Of
day.
course,
like,
yeah.
It's not.
But it was a case of
It
they was giving me money, knowing that they was getting nothing back.
Yeah.
They knowing I was going to get beat.
Yeah. Do you think then, if people are serious about wanting to be pool players from a young age, the biggest advice that you could give them is to not be afraid about not winning?
100%.
Yeah.
I think if you think that you're going to go through winning, you're clueless.
Yeah.
And that's a genuine from me. I'm at the level I'm at now, and even if I'm happy if I win one event a year. So that means out of 14,
Yeah.
I've lost 13 times. But I would have had a good season if I'd have won one. That's how hard it is to win.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like the grassroots level of like, not pub standard, but the county level. I think they need to do something where, why not put a handicap system in place?
Yeah.
Play first to 6,
Yeah.
but he has to start off -3.
Well,
I'll play.
We played a pool tournament down at Cue, just a few of the lads, and some of them play a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
And we started on a handicap system, and we had a brilliant afternoon doing it.
I
I
don't
think it was a tenner a man,
Yeah.
something like that, and the person who we thought was going to win it inevitably ended up winning it.
Yeah.
However, it was just one of them ones. Like,
But even now, it's come to the point now where even if an event was in Derby
Yeah.
and I can play in it,
Yeah.
I just think, what's the point?
yeah,
Not that I'm bigger than anybody else. It's
No.
nothing to do with that.
No.
It's just for me. I don't get why it can be like, oh, you can have a go this time, but you can't have a go this time. Them times when John set up the events and everyone was taking your money from you,
yeah.
why can't they come back and I
and
be
I
on the right end
suppose
of
what
it?
you say it is, now that the tables have turned a little
Yeah.
bit, why do you feel you've experienced kind of being almost a pool celebrity coming from Derby, because it's quite a small city and you rose through them ranks? Do you feel not isolated, but do you feel there's a like that people just think you're this professional now? Like, I don't know. If that's
I'd probably say yes.
yeah.
But for me, when I grew up, there was like John Giles, Kevin Maguire, Steve Simpson, Lee Stevenson, Marcus. There was good players that played on the tour. The whole world evolves. And it's like you say, oh, would Ronaldo be able to play 20 years ago with them big leather balls and no boots on on the race course. The whole game's changed now. So like when they were covering pockets, you can't do that no more.
The actual rules have changed.
The whole rules have changed, and they're like probably 90% more attacking now.
Yeah.
So do you know when it used to
like
be
2020 with the cricket kind of thing?
Probably 10 overs.
Yeah.
To like a test match.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing. Because it used to be, well, if I cover that bag, I've won.
Yeah. I think people think, we kind of touched on it at the start of this interview, is like how much is natural ability and how much is hard work. And it's the mentality side of, I'm going to do this for as long as it takes me until I am this good. And then when I'm this good, that isn't good enough for me. And then I'm going to go to this good. And like, I can imagine that when you're around these people that you've seen, Stephen Hendry and people like that, it must only spur you on once you get to that level, because you know how hard you've worked to get to that point.
A lot of it is, do you know when you go and meet somebody that is clearly, like I don't see anybody as famous because it's I don't know how to explain it, but for me meeting Mark wasn't, I'm going to meet Mark. For me meeting Stephen wasn't, but then I would sit back and think, like, he's won some serious money, like he's done everything that everybody wants to do. When you play pool, you want to be world champion. When you play snooker, you want to be a world champion.
Well, when you play snooker, you want to be Ronnie O'Sullivan, do you know what I mean?
You do, but
or
like,
you want to be a Stephen Hendry.
Yeah, but like he's also won enough to like retire his kids.
Yeah.
So like he's doing something right.
Yeah.
For me, I think you've just got to be that person that he knows where he's at. He knows he needs to play 4 or 5 hours a day, and that's what he's going to do. Yeah. If he doesn't play, I actually watched a podcast on him. I think it might have been like Let's Talk. It was with Ray Parler and another guy. I can't remember.
It's like an Arsenal podcast.
Yeah, I flicked on YouTube the other night, and it come up with Mark Selby. It was like posted 2 days ago, and I thought, oh, I'll have a look at this. And the trailer caught me straight away because he was talking about mental health, and he's just come out openly talking about his troubles with mental health and that. So I thought, oh, I'll have a look at this. Next thing, I'm 40 minutes into watching this podcast on my phone, and I've watched the whole thing, and I thought, that's brilliant, because I
forget you've got other things to do.
Yeah, well, look, I was in bed at the time, so it didn't really matter. But when I was looking at it, everything he was saying was making sense to me.
Yeah.
But that might be like the winner's mentality of it. Whereas a lot of people might think, oh, I've got the ultimate pool next weekend. I'll have a game next week. Whereas I'm thinking, right, I'm doing 5 hours a day now from now on.
So we're doing this interview on a Friday afternoon after you've just done your last shift.
Yeah.
Working for Ulstrom, so connected to Bombardier.
It used to be Bombardier, so the train company that build the trains for the Underground in London. Yeah. So basically, every train in London is built by Derby. Massive company, and then been bought out by a French company, Ulstrom.
Yeah.
Middle of last year, that sort of time.
Yeah. And now you get to spend 7 days a week being a professional pool player.
Yeah. To be honest, like from when you're young, obviously I've had a very lucky life, really, with like going back to my parents gave me everything I wanted, and I lived in pubs where I could do a little bit here if I wanted to, and I didn't have to do it there, and I could just go and play pool. But like now it's all changed. I've got a wife, I've got 2 kids, I've got a house, and obviously like we're in my house now.
Yeah.
Well, it's in my pool room. But yeah, I've got a house and a mortgage, and I mean, I've got to still pay the bills. Do you know what I mean? So it's not a case of everyone at work says, oh, you retired today? And I was like, no, mate.
Yeah, we're at Jack Whelan's retirement party.
I says, look, mate, honestly, I'm going to be doing more work now than I've done at work.
Yeah.
Because now, look, if I don't win, I don't earn no money. I've got to make content. I've got to build my social medias to get revenue that way. There's going to be a hell of a lot more work now going forward. So although it's a big I'm going to go and play full time, there's a massive thing on my shoulder of you ain't just going to sit on the sofa.
There's a risk element there.
Yeah, you can't just get up at 10 o'clock in the morning and I'll have a practice tomorrow. I've got to be out here filming stuff. Got to get it on my social media. I've got to grow my following. I've got to grow my base.
When you've started doing that while you've still been working. You've got, as you can see here, for everybody, you focus your time quite heavily on making like content through trick shots, tutorials, and then putting them out on TikTok, YouTube, that kind of stuff. Talk to us a little bit about that and what we can expect from you in 2023 with the stuff that you're doing.
I started probably, I'd say, September time last year. So not too long ago, really, when you think looking back.
3-4 months ago.
Yeah, I've got around 200,000 now over all my social medias. I've got just over 100,000 on Instagram. Nearly 50,000 on TikTok, and my YouTube and my Facebook they're around the 2021 mark. But they're both growing rapidly at the minute because I'm focusing quite a bit more time on them two. Only because originally I posted on Instagram and TikTok, and I left YouTube behind. Well, YouTube, I think I started like October time, and I've actually done quite well to get to around 20,000 subscribers on there now.
It's doing a little bit better than we are at the moment. I'm on 150 at the moment, so I'm hoping after this interview, it's going to shoot up.
No, it'll definitely grow. But yeah, I'm now using the content that I originally posted to gain traction on my YouTube, on my Facebook, to build my pages on there. And obviously now going forward from as of Monday, I've got an exhibition tomorrow, a presentation night tomorrow. Sunday I'm going to have off, and then from Monday I'm going to be doing a lot more content. I'm going to be doing a lot more longer form content, tutorials, and explaining about stuff that people want to ask me. So if you do want to ask any questions, you can just send me a message and I'll get back to you regarding a video. Obviously I'll
work your way through
acknowledge
them
the reply and say I'll get back to you and so. But obviously
he's not ignoring you.
Yeah, honestly, I get that many messages you wouldn't believe. It's crazy, like at times. Like you wake up to 500 new followers, so you're getting that many notifications, and then you got people commenting, sharing, and you're like trying to look through it all, but you haven't got time to look through it all, to be honest. You haven't got time.
And I think you look at these Instagrams that do blow up and you think, I've messaged a couple of them about Blue Canoe stuff and they don't even read them, and you're thinking, right, well, they must be too busy. But that confirms that once you get to that point.
100%. I'd probably say out of every 10 messages I get, I could probably see 2. That's how. If we're not friends, that I'm directly seeing you post, I can't.
Physically.
Because they just go into like, it's like when you get an email and it just goes into like a junk one. It's like you just don't even see it. It just completely bytracks. And then by the time you have seen it, it's like you're out of date. It's gone.
It's been a meteoric rise from, say, the first point where you played pool, starting at Riley's in Derby, to then turning pro and winning the World Championships, and now you're part of that setup with Ultimate Pool that looks and sounds as if that's only going from strength to strength, and you've really solidified yourself in that. Congrats on winning the tournament over Christmas. That was, I can imagine, a really good way to start the year. 14 events going forward. Talk to us about 2023, what we can expect from Jack the Wonder Whelan.
Well, originally I was with the rival organisation to Ultimate Pool. So this is the third year it just started. So the first year I played with the rival company, and then they come into contact and we said, do you want to come to sign with us? So I said, yeah.
Started putting offers on the table.
So when there were six players that moved from there to there. The first tournament was the Pro Cup last year. So I played one full year now, basically. So I lost in the semi-finals of the first event. So the BT event last year, I lost in the semi-finals to the guy that won it. He was the guy that I beat in the semi-finals this year. So we actually met in the semi-finals again.
Bit of a grudge match.
But to be honest, he's a Welsh lad, Jordan Shepherd. He's a professional, obviously the same. And we've played each other many, many, many times. He's similar age, early 30s. So we've grown up since like probably 15 together. And it's inevitable you're going to keep on playing
What's
each other.
What's the head-to-heads like?
I am in front. I am in front. I was wounded last year when I lost, put it that way. Because in the first event, I genuinely thought, and I was braking properly, and I thought, I'm going to win this one, first one, done. I'm like, I just wanted to go, but when I moved over, because I was moving into like a Shark Tank of all the legends of the game, I didn't want to just go, like them boys, and I'll just go in at 16, and I thought, I'm better than that. I know I'm better than that. And then obviously when I lost in the semis of the first one, and the second one and the third one I didn't do too well. First and second one I didn't do well. And then I won Pro Series 3. So I won the third one and I actually beat Jordan in the final. So he beat me in the semis and I beat him in the final. So that was like a sort of, the next time we played was that match. And he was 3-0 up in that as well, off the break, just straight away 3-0. I managed to win. I managed to come back and win 8-5, and that was a massive weight off my shoulders because, like, although I knew I was good enough, I had to still prove to people that I was good enough.
It's like that striker that signs to a club and they're waiting on their first goal to like break the ice.
But then when they go like 7 games without a goal, that's like me going a year without winning an event. That's how it feels. And then you start getting in positions and you're thinking, this is going to go wrong. This is going to go wrong.
Momentum's such a massive thing.
If you just get it out of your head straight away, I was done.
Yeah.
So then I won another one, and then I won the Pro Series 3. Then I got to the semi-finals with another one. Then I lost in the final of the Champion of Champions early December, which were all the Pro Series over the year. There was 8 last year. It's now moved to 10. We've got an extra 2 event, an extra weekend.
Yeah.
The 8 winners and the 8 winners of the amateur went into a 16-man tournament.
16-man tournament.
So it was an open draw.
Yeah.
So I could have drawn another fellow,
Gareth Potts.
yes, or Mick Hill.
Yeah.
Or you could draw an amateur player that has won one of their events to come through. I lost in the final of that to Tom Cousins, who, to be fair to him, I didn't really get a chance in the final. I lost 5-1, and to be fair, playing first to fives at our level is crazy for the standard. But
Like you're saying, couple dry breaks.
yeah,
or something.
well, I snookered him twice, and he got out of both of them and potted the ball, and that was about all I had. I made a half mistake first frame that I probably should have snookered him, and I attacked, and I lost the frame from that. But apart from that, I didn't really get an opportunity. Then moving into the Pro Cup, obviously, I've then come out on top. So all in all, although it was it was called Pro Cup 2022. It was actually the first event of the 2023 season.
Yeah,
it's a strange one. I said to them when they got the trophy, I've gone, you've got it wrong. Like, it says 2020, and then they've gone, no, you haven't.
Yeah.
So basically, when I've gone to the organiser, I've gone, you've got the wrong trophy. Like, that says 2022. He goes, yeah, we're still in 2022, aren't we? I've gone, yeah, but it's a 2023 season.
Yeah.
He's gone, we're still in 2022 though. And I'm thinking, what?
For how long?
Well, it was a day, because I won it on the 30th of December.
Yeah.
So it was the day before New Year's Eve.
I bet you had a nice New Year's Eve after that.
To be fair, it was a quiet one, like with the family.
Yeah.
I'm not really too fussed about going out and drinking overly too much. It's obviously when you've got a family and kids, it's a little bit different. And
how supportive have they been over the years?
Massively. Like I genuinely couldn't do it without my wife. Like, she does everything for me. Like, if you'd look at it, the house would be a tip if it was for me. She cooks and cleans, and she does everything for me basically, and she's massively supportive, and she's never like, oh, you're going away again, although I know she feels like, oh, you're going away again. It's just
is it difficult sometimes when you go away?
It is, because if you're not playing well and winning, it's a long road, you know. Like, you go into events and you're losing, and you're coming home and it's another 2 weeks till the next one, and it's hard to gain momentum. Whereas obviously me winning in the Pro Cup, now we're like, right, when's the next event? The 20th. Good. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for that.
Is that next Friday?
It's next Thursday. It starts 3 o'clock. I play next Thursday. The draw's just come out today. So
who have you got?
I'm a seed, because I finished so high in the rankings. There's 96 pros now, so basically the 64 players have to win to go to 32, and then they play the seeded players.
Bit like the Europa
64,
League.
yeah. So they start a round behind us.
Sound.
But it's hopefully
going well.
It will be. Obviously, next week I'm going to be playing some serious hours. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Obviously, I've played bits since the Pro Cup, but I've not like overly hammered it. I've probably played a few hours, there.
After you've got a success like that, it's nice to just take a little bit of a step back and just calm your brain a little bit. And
yeah, it is. But also, again, it's like, you strike while it's hot.
Yeah.
That's the mentality I've got. Is I've just won that event. Let me get out there and practice again.
Yeah.
Whereas when you lose, you think, forget that, man. I'll have a go in a week's time. Like, there has been weeks that I've not played. Full 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks that I've not played, and then I just think to myself, like, what are you doing? You've got to just go and play.
Yeah.
If you don't play, you're not going to win.
Well, I think you going full time, you winning the Pro Cup, 2023 could not really have started in a better way.
I think that's a massive decision for me, obviously finishing my job and taking the plunge into going to like social media and playing full time.
Yeah.
But I think the time's right for me. I'm at the age where I'm at the top of the game right now, and my name's quite relevant at the minute. I just don't want to be like mid-40s and think, oh, I was number 3 in the world at that point, and I should have done that, and I should. Because how many times do you hear them stories?
Yeah.
Like my dad was very good at darts, like to professional level, and never got the backing. And one of his biggest regrets is he couldn't carry on. So he's always said to me, do it. And obviously I've spoke to parents, I've spoke to my wife's mum and dad, I've spoke to the brothers who are like my brothers, I spoke to my parents, I spoke to my really, really good friends that I can ask serious questions to, and they give me honest answers, and everybody has said, you need to try now. So a lot of people looking in might think, he's an idiot. But for me, I think the time's right. And no one knows me like what's happening in here. Like, my wife says to me, go for it. So if she's saying that to me, then I'm saying okay, because I mean it's a difficult one, you know. There's going to be a lot of pressure on me moving forward, but I'm at the top of the sport I play. I can deal with pressure. I'm not worried about that.
Best of luck, Jack Whelan. It's been an absolute pleasure to be able to chat to you.